Morning news, Daily Joe News. And so they're still looking for that dude in Maine. Guy killed 18 fucking people. And they're still looking for this piece of shit. Who knows where the fuck he is? Let's hope they find him soon. UN says civilians in Gaza feel abandoned as only crumbs of aid get in. I would blame. That's not only Israel's fault, but it's also Egypt's fault. Egypt does not want those crazy motherfuckers coming across its border. People don't talk about that, but that's a big part of it. Russia executing own retreating soldiers, U.S. said. Russia is executing soldiers who try to retreat from a bloody offensive in eastern Ukraine. That goes back to Russia's history. They used to do the same thing in World War II all the time. There was some order Stalin dished out. I can almost remember the name of it. It's like order number not. I can't remember. Pretty much said though, it was pretty much not one step back. So if you did, you would literally they would train machine guns on soldiers heading into battle. So if they turned around, they get mowed down. So Russia's pretty good for that. It goes back with their history. South Korea court upholds gay sex ban in the military. I wonder why. What's their reasoning? South Korea's constitutional court has upheld a law banning same-sex relations in the military. The court said same-sex relations could harm troops' combat readiness and undermine discipline. Yeah, it just goes to show you, like, people in this country act like, oh, we're under attack, the LGBTQ's under attack. It's like, there's still a lot of countries that are way worse. Modern countries, too. South Korea is probably, arguably, more modern than we are. And yet, they still have those fucking problems over there. Obviously, that's a silly ruling. There's no reason why gay people can't fuck while they're serving in the military. Which, by the way, in South Korea, it's required. All military-age men are required to serve for, like, a certain amount of time. NPR, I tell you, NPR, I go on their national news. I had to keep checking and reloading my page. That poor kid that got killed, that Palestinian kid that got killed, 6-year-old. The top thing is still his funeral. That was 10 days ago, and I know it's horrible, but you're kind of showing your cards there. 3 months out, the Iowa caucus is Trump's to lose. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has moved most of his campaign resources to Iowa, and Nikki Haley is visiting the Hawkeye state too. But Donald Trump remains the front runner. How this motherfucker has managed to stay, with all this bullshit, has managed to stay so far ahead. I expected at least a closer race. But it honestly looks like people want to see Trump versus Biden again. I can't understand that. I feel so removed from like the popular opinion of this country. Confederate monument melted down to create new, more inclusive public art. That has to be one of the most wokest headlines I've ever read in my life. Communities across the American South have removed Confederate monuments from public spaces in recent years. I really don't blame people for taking down the Confederate monuments. I mean, they were put up in the first place because we were trying to heal the country after that huge, terrible war. But I think that time has passed. I don't see anything wrong with taking down some of these Confederate statues. That being said, I hate to see what more inclusive art is. I mean, some of the art I've kind of noticed this with that weird ass sculpture. I think it was in Boston called the Embrace. It looks like a giant piece of shit, like literally like a giant hunk of shit. And then there was the other one in honor of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and it was this weird like devil woman with like horns coming out and stuff like that. I honestly think the reason these sculptures are coming out like this is because these people that are making the sculptures have no talent, okay, and they don't have the ability to make a sculpture that actually looks like the person they're trying to sculpt. So they try to get away with these like weird ass fucking, like I can't. So that, like, the Ruth Bader Ginsburg one, the lady's like, I don't have the skill to actually make a sculpture look like RBG. So I'm just going to make this weird ass thing that I think looks cool. You know what I mean? And same thing, the one in Boston. It's like, I can't actually make a sculpture look like Martin Luther King Jr. So I'm just going to make this like weird hunk of shit and call it the Embrace. And everybody's going to buy it. Everybody's going to love it. They're going to make it. You can't really blame them for doing that. I mean, they're still getting paid and their shit's going to be there for decades, right? At least decades. That's fucking hilarious, I swear. This teacher shortage solution has gone viral. But does it work? How does a teacher shortage solution gone viral? Doesn't viral mean like a video on the internet or something? What is the solution? I'm curious. School custodian Jenna Gross is teaching a group of fourth graders how to convert fractions to decimals. Custodian at Wyandotte Elementary School for more than 18 years, and now she's also a teacher in training. Across the U.S., many principals face a similar challenge. Estimated 55,000 vacant teaching positions. One possible solution has gone viral: grow your own programs. Grow your own programs aim to recruit future teachers from the local communities, and state and federal governments had made hundreds. So the idea is to hire people that live around the area? That's what the grow your own teacher thing? I mean, you'd think they were doing that in the first place. So it's pretty much they're taking people that live around the area or already work in the school system, and they're just helping them get training and education to become a teacher. This is a new viral thing. It seems like it should have been one of the things that's been going on in the first place. I don't really. It's the news. It's like, I remember it's the same thing with the AI predicting homelessness. It's like the people are already homeless. The computer's just telling you they're homeless. It doesn't predict shit. And here the same thing. This big viral program that says like, oh, it's this new thing we're trying. Yeah, you're teaching people how to become teachers and hiring them. They just happen to live around the school, and for some reason, this is some crazy new idea. Like I said, I feel stupider reading this shit sometimes. I really fucking do. White House slams reporter after Biden smacks down credibility of the slams and smacks in one headline. As Biden smacks down credibility of Palestinian officials. Yeah, I'm really kind of curious. I don't understand how like these news organizations are really just passing on what the Palestinian authorities say, is especially when it comes to these casualty rates in the Gaza Strip. It's like these people have zero credibility, and what I don't understand is the news organizations get away. It's like, well, we're saying it's the Palestinian authorities that are reporting it. It's like, okay, but you should also say that this needs to be taken with a giant Mount Everest sized piece of salt or grain of salt. That's how the saying goes. It's like there's no reason to believe that the casualties are as high as the Gaza officials are saying. No reason to buy it whatsoever. They have lied about everything since day one. And been caught multiple times bullshitting too. They're a bunch of bullshit artists, and for some reason, a lot of news organizations are just passing on their propaganda as, gospel. And I really don't understand that. Like I said, the news nowadays is really terrible. It's not going to go down in history as our best time, our shining example of the way our journalism should be. I think that's good for today. All right, if you're going to work, have fun.